Should business leaders be thinking smarter as the fuel crisis starts to bite? We have Professional Company Director Victoria Carter with us. Victoria, you've had a brainwave. You've been looking at what we need to be doing, I guess, to not waste a crisis, to sort of make the most of how we can change things and adapt to a situation maybe where the fuel isn't always as certain. Is that the gist of it?
Well, I think that we all have a responsibility to think about what can we do, and business leaders have probably got the position and the opportunity to be able to make a difference. And I'd really like to see more discussion from business leaders on what could we be doing differently. For example, once upon a time when I was back involved with car share, City Hop, the concept of ride share, carpooling was really popular. Now, Auckland Transport spent quite a bit of money on developing a ride sharing scheme. What's happened to it? Is it time to take it out of the mothballs?
They've probably got some other problems, to be fair, at Auckland Transport, trying to work out when they're going to hand the keys back, to be honest. But so you're saying there's some off-the-shelf solutions that businesses could be looking at to not get too complacent with the fact that there's a fragile ceasefire, that oil's dropped sort of 13% overnight. It could all change in a minute, right?
Exactly. We're in a very delicate time, right? And last night I was talking to a taxi driver who told me that he normally has to fuel his car for $1,000. It's now $1,480, he said, but he's still got his other commitments, his mortgage, electricity prices are not going down, food's going up. And he said, you know, that there's so many different impacts that people don't think about.
Sure.
So transport, I've always known, transport is the highest cost for most people after their rent. So getting to work is, if we want people to get to work and not be penalised for coming to work, then maybe with technology the way it is these days, ride sharing and carpooling strategies are quite sensible.
So this is something you would encourage business leaders and employers to actually be starting to try and coordinate rather than just let that happen spontaneously?
It sounds hard, but actually it's not. The first step is identifying which group of people are interested in being part of it, mapping out where they live, and for all you know, somebody who's coming to work at the same time as you are, although they might have to drop a child off at school, but it's only going to be a short diversion, is going to save you some money, and that might be the difference that makes more people more interested in trying something different.
I guess the counter to that, sometimes people would say, well, like, we went through the entire COVID experience, we learned a lot about working from home. There's this sort of a tentativeness around that because we're trying to rebuild in cities and so on. But I mean, is that an area that businesses need to be looking at a little bit more closely?
I think it's never one thing. Being flexible about workplace is another really key factor in how do we make it easier for people to be able to cope when, I mean, unlike in COVID, with COVID we didn't have prices going up all the time. We were stuck at home, we were trying, or some people were stuck at home and able to make bread and...
Not me, I was hard at work in a newsroom, I'm going to say. Some things remain essential no matter what. But I guess this is the idea that business can actually lead a conversation around this rather than just letting people organise it. Is there a problem here though? Because obviously we've lost a bit of time here. A lot of companies are going to be looking at just trying to work out the bottom line at this point. They're going to be focusing on trying to regain their position. So is it hard to kind of make space for a bit of that?
I think it's about culture. And if you know that your boss cares about your well-being, then you've got a deeper commitment to that organisation. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's important for business leaders and boards to be thinking about how do we make it easier for our workforce who are really struggling at the moment. There's another idea I've got as well, which it isn't a new idea. I read about it this morning. Interest.co has got a story on it, which is that perhaps we need to do what Greece did back in 2022, which was put a price freeze on, they did it for 50 household items, for baby food, for tins of food, for butter, for cheese. I know these things have been talked about before, but now is the time that people need to be able to put food on the table.
Good luck getting that one past Nicola Willis, Victoria Carter.